Despite decades and decades of public education about the virtues of organ donation, the waiting list and the time to transplantation just get longer. In our country, 54 kidney patients die due to scarcity of kidney donor every day. It's past time to face the fact that altruism is not just enough. Respected judges and the August House, Assalamu alaikum. The topic has been selected for today's debate is sale of human organs should be legalized. I choose to speak for what I believe. Organ transplantation is one of the chief glories of modern medicine, but it's a miracle tragically out of reach for many thousands of people whose lives might be saved. There just aren't enough organs to go around. A survey shows that about 75,000 Americans are on the waiting list for kidney transplants. Those in need of human organs cannot rely on altruism alone. There must also be a legal incentive to create the necessary supply. A legal regulated organ market would not only save lives, it would disincentivize individuals from turning to the often medically unsound and violent black market. Regulated mechanism for donor compensation is the only means of effectively eliminating the demand for this covert activity, closing down the black market and improving safety for donors and recipients. Compensation for the organ donors' time and risks by providing life insurance, lifelong health insurance, and even a direct monetary fee. Dear audience, if blood can be collected through voluntary donation, then why not organs? Yes, you can say that poverty is a disease that can never be eradicated, so people will queue up to sell organs to fill their stomachs. Well, and opponent, we already have a black market. If legalized, there should be a protocol which will ensure that those below poverty line people are not exploited. Just think logically, if there is no legal body in action, then where to complain about an exploitation? In order to tackle black marketing and organ trafficking, the government can issue permits to organ sellers and maintain their credentials to track miscreants. Moreover, compensation is legal for pregnancy, surrogacy, egg donation, and participation in medical trials. Organ donation for profit would not constitute an unprecedented medical or social practice. Though insurance companies now legally pay for the immediate costs associated with an organ donation, legalizing organ sales would help cover long-term medical costs for donors. All in all, the sale of human organs should indeed be legalized. Thank you.
A few years ago, there was a woman who used to work in our house. That woman did not receive any formal education and she was suffering severely from poverty. She had two little kids, but she was all the time worried about what she would do with them because she did not have the ability to run their expenses. But one day she came to my house with a very happy and jolly mind. So my mom asked her, "Why you are so happy?" So she replied that she found a welfare association who actually take the responsibility of those children whose parents do not have that ability to run their expenses. They provide the children's formal education and also they manage work for them. So she gave her two children to that very organization. So far so good. But dear audience, not every story has the proper and perfect happy ending. Because after 2 months, that woman committed suicide. Why? Because on that very day, she found 2 dead bodies in the local police station, and those 2 dead bodies were of his 2 boys. And that very welfare association was a group of criminals who actually deceive people by giving them lucrative offers that their poverty will end if they provide their children, and they will give their children works, education and money. And the audience, the unfortunate part is this is not just a mere story, because there are innumerable examples in our life in many countries where this thing is taking place. And that is why actually selling human body organs should not be legalized. Why? Let me explain. The poor people mostly in the least developing countries, they do not have many things to do to remove their poverty. So when they find this very thing, that if they sell their body parts, maybe there is a big chance that their poverty will end. So they actually do not want to miss this lucrative offer, and as because they are not properly educated, so they are not conscious of the bad consequences of selling their body organs. And when they do sell them, they start to have psychological and health problems, which eventually increase their financial costs. On the other hand, there are many groups, that means those groups who actually deceive people by giving those lucrative offers, as I have mentioned in my story, that they give them offers that if they provide their children to them, then they will manage works, education, food, and a very standard life for them. And it's not only about the children but also about the adults. And if you even do not believe me, then I have the statistics for you. In 2016, in the capital of Pakistan, near to the capital, Islamabad, police raided in an apartment and they found 24 people who were actually deceived by a group of unscrupulous people who gave them offers. So dear audience, yes, obviously I agree that body organs and the transplantation of body organs can save life, but in no ways you can use your body as a part of your business. If anyone is donating a part of his or her body voluntarily, then okay, it is acceptable, but in no way you can sell your body organs, because it is actually a very brutal task, and it is a thing which can increase these types of crimes, human trafficking, killing people, making them injured in a very high amount in our society. So for our greater good, for the better purpose, let's stop selling human body parts. With this, I'll let you conclude.